drop somewhere around here?
There was a short drop. Dark, no? Dark. Here, like, sounds. It's quite cool. Oh,
Full of surprises, aren't you?
Sure.
Look at the size of this place.
Many thoughts will be as silent as my edged with anger, violence.
We light our own path now, Watcher.
Can you do that again? I had something in my eye. I missed most of it.
aye, aye, aye. Always jokers, aren't they?
Let's go!
Oh, hello there. Hello.
Lavaru, be on sea!
The shadows in the cavern suddenly lengthen and swallow low. When your eyes adjust to the darkness, you find yourself in the midst of what must be another vision. You are surrounded by mist. The ground feels springy under your feet. You imagine that, as soon as you take a step, the soil behind you will erase all trace of your passage. As if on cue, the mist before you clears just enough for you to take a couple of steps forward. You do, and the fog closes behind you. You continue for several minutes in this manner, one step at a time, never seeing more than the ground right in front of you. Eventually, rays of light cut through the haze, and you find yourself facing a canyon wall. He twists his head in front of his face. What's that? Something whizzes past you. Just as you turn, you catch another whir of movement. One of the mist flints a shape, small and round. You think you see another and another. They tickle the corners of your vision. You turn back to the canyon wall. The sun shifts along its path, and what looked like a smooth rock face is the hollow of a cave. A figure steps out, its features shifting and changing before your eyes. The figure transforms from male to female, from Orlin to Oma, its bones lengthening and its fur receding into flesh. The only detail that remains constant is the smooth, eyeless face. The whizzing, rushing shapes from the mist converge on the figure, and as they form a spinning cloud, you realize that they are eyes.
You understand the value of a mystery watcher, a buried scroll, a hidden truth. These are my ways. You unravel a thread, watcher, one you have lost and discovered over generations, and following it to its end has only brought you back to the beginning.
Talking about. You seek. Whale giggles, a strangely modulated sound that rises and falls as the god shifts from one form to the next. You seek and search while your foe obscures, and even your quest for answers to your past has only led you to another mystery, and one grander still. My goal now is to see to the souls theirs is trapped. Or another riddling god. Yes, but what would you do with them?
A nebula of souls, blind and brimming with potential. The answer to Woodika's question and the beginning of yours. what would you do with them?
Possible to restore them to the Hollowborn.
A song the world knows and tires of. The droning chorus repeated again and again. Better the improvised melody, the unfolding chant. The listeners sit rapt, and just when they think they have the tune, it changes again. Even the gods require fresh mysteries.
The cows break and a torrent of rain washes Whale's features clean. His black face molds itself again, taking on the shape of something you've never seen before. Do not consign the souls to the fate of some god's choosing. You have found them, now scatter them across existence. Their destination known to neither god nor mortal. Let them be lost again. New answers to new riddles. Seems like you're asking me to just, yeah.
In a way. But something must be done, and hurling them from the machinery of other schemes is the truest course of action.
What end would that serve?
No end, Watcher. That is the purpose.
What's happened to the souls?
None know. They could end up anywhere in the realms of gods or mortals, whole or divided. Discovering them again and charting their course through the ether will be a new mystery. That is a word for endings, and this is but a crossroads. Even I do not know what you would choose.
Shadows from the new caves melt and spread across the landscape, covering you in darkness. When the light returns, the vision is gone. Okay.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Oh.
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen? I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
That's me directly then, is it?
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders.
You are ready to give a confession?
I am ready to hear one from you.
Memories of the ancients. Battle. You come to a circular room, grand and domed. Its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The far end of the grand pillar of adra pierces the floor from below to a ragged spike, its shivering texture giving an illusion of boundless depth. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they are all questions. At the base of the pillar stands Theos, a look of concern on his face as he notes your approach. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all others, spinning madly in your mind, but you don't dare ask it yet. You need some admission from him first, some hint of the veracity of your suspicions.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
What is this place?
We are in a sanctum holy to Utica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
Was Eora telling the truth?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
The machine behind you. What does that do?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
Statues?
They are monuments to Woodica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
Was the Inquisition based on a lie?
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
You're shaking now, having lost all patience for tact. No more evasions. You have to know everything you believed, everything you have done for the gods. Did you lie to me when you said the gods could end suffering? Are there no gods?
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
Yes, every word you find yourself losing control of a boiling cauldron of rage and doubt and fear and hopelessness until you can take it anymore. Are there no gods?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them.
His eyes lingers on you, and there is no mistaking the threat behind it, and your rage shrinks at the image of an iron wheel in your mind, monolithic and caked with the dried blood of thousands. You do not ask your question again. Okay.
How did you find it?
It was Lady Webb.
Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason.
It was reason that guided her hand to this.
Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect.
Blind obedience is a lot to ask for someone with a mind of their own.
What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own? You worshipped Aethys, did you not?
Your spies are good. What gave me away? The cape?
Yet when your god needed you the most, you chose your country.
Eora frowns, irritated.
We were being invaded, not by anyone who was acting like a god.
Then I should think your hometown gave you a hero's welcome when you returned.
They made cake. Hard to blame people for losing faith when it's the gods who are misbehaving.
The gods argue over how best to prevent Kith society from destroying itself. These disruptions would not be necessary were mortal instinct not so diseased.
Duran stares at Theos with beast style. Theos watches him calmly.
You built a weapon that delivered exactly as promised.
I served my goddess as you did yours.
Yet the other builders were slain, 11 of a dozen. Why not you? Were you somehow different? Redeemable in your god's sight?
Whatever desire I had to be redeemed in her eyes was weakness, purged by the Watcher's sight.
Or was it merely that your goddess wanted you dead as well, and your delusions of importance prevented you from seeing the obvious?
A whore's beguiling charms, nothing more. But the spell's broke now, Theos. The trial's over. I know friend from foe, and I've come here now to see a foe repaid.
You were able to destroy a god because another god wished it. Without her hand to guide you, you could not strike at a god any more than you could strike the sky. You are impotent, and not just from the pox. State your name and purpose, young acolyte.
Oh, yeah.
My name belonged to the gods and my hand to their service. No more.
You serve none but yourself. Without contact with your order, you can have no higher purpose. Only the base concerns of the flesh. You have cast yourself from our ranks.
And I should have done it years before. I'd rather live in uncertainty than servitude.
And that uncertainty would lead you where it leads everyone. To doubt, to emptiness, to the many cruelties inspired by disbelief. You will have to forgive your Grandmaster for remaining skeptical of his initiate's choices. You are far from home, dwarf.
I knew my hunt would send me a long way from Masuk. It was a challenge I was glad to undertake for my village.
A journey, then? It must be of some import to take you so far and to last so long.
Anything worth doing comes at great cost.
So it was worth it, then, to tell a dying beast of things it neither understood nor had memory of. You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives. I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago.
I lived my life by the lies you told. You owe me the truth.
I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one. Not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it. The spread of our faith ended many such atrocities. I do what I must to ensure it continues to do so. The heart of this country has skipped a beat, nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Telosus into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot who brought them to ruin. When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls.
I don't see how these matters concern me. None of these places still exist.
Precisely. Their histories are droplets of water, falling into an endless sea. They are significant unto themselves for a moment, and then they are gone. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith. But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our god's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark.
Spark of false hope.
There is no false hope. Only hope for things that never come. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she, Without our gods, the most wicked, the most tyrannical, they would take that power for themselves. But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure. Only a wheel, turning without mercy, grinding our spirits to dust.
Better than to live a lie.
Telling yourself each day that what you do matters, that it isn't all for nothing, that the world is just. The apostate's world is built on believing lies. All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course. This is the only way.
I would say the first one, but he's not going to admit it.
You have not thought this through. There is no leaving this place for you. I allowed it once, but you have made it all too clear what a mistake my mercy was. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid. Croak 10!
Like staggers, so. Yeah. You a big lad? Hey.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Huh?
Aye?
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Lava room.
Lavaru, beyond seek!
That's it!
Rith! Ligna!
Are that worth it?
Ooh.
Join arms!
Aye?
Are that worth it?
Lavaru, beyond seek!
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Aye?
Why won't you die?
Huh?
Lava ruby. Beyond
Rith!
That's not very helpful.
Very helpful.
Enough of this.
Rith Uligna!
wood. Let's go.
Everybody attack. Attack, 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 attack. Oh.
What? Lavaru.
Love.
Bong.
Mow it.
Fucking right.
Attack. What?
I was not expecting that. Right.
Moe Ixiana.
Was he charmed or something? Dominated. That is hilarious.
Wood. Let's go.
Now that's funny. That's actually quite funny.
Love.
Lavaru.
At your feet rests the body of Theos, hollow, the dense wrinkle shaped by the silent shouldering of the eternal burden now smoothed across his colour-drained face. His soul remains still for the moment, defenceless, its energy expending in defeat. It lies sprawled across his body like a death shroud.
That's the servant down, and the mistress still to go. A good start, worthy of being built upon.
After journeying for lifetimes, I can't imagine his failure, knowing it was all for nothing.
Thousands of souls he has tortured. Would that he could live those sufferings 1,000 times himself.
Some point, you have to look at the things your god is telling you to do. Ask yourself if it's worth it.
He spent his lives, more than any of us will ever know. For what? Binding the world to a lie. Could a man like that ever be redeemed?
Explore the soul. With a deep breath, you plunge into Theos' soul, and where in Brackenbury it had been a maze of narrow corridors and dead ends, now it is expansive and borderless, its walls crumbling into heaps like the ruins of Wingwith as you pass through them. You travel for what seems like ages, rushing to a known destination, a memory you glimpsed once before. At last you see it, no more than a pinprick of light at the end of a long tunnel, expanding slowly at first, then quickly as you near. You come out to a room you are standing in now, but it is new and pristine and filled with people, thousands of them, all turned towards the great altar pillar and the machine that encases it. Theo stands at the machine, and you are one with him now. You look out at the crowd, at faces of shriveled old men and cherub-cheeked little girls, at mothers bouncing infants to quiet them, and fathers clasping their children's restless hands and watching you with some sombre acquaintance. A woman with tears in her eyes gives you a small nod. You turn back towards the machine, your breath constructed beneath the weight of unwanted knowledge, preparing yourself to set out alone on a journey without end. You close your eyes and open them again to find the machine still in front of you, beckoning. You take your place in front of it and place your hands upon the large mechanical disc at the base of the great crystal column and speak a single word. Giant rings creak to life and building speed, setting arrays of carved draconic mouths aglow and sending tremors through the platforms beneath you. The entire room shakes now with the force of the accelerating machine, all sound drowned out by its deep, deafening thrum. Brilliant tendrils of light arc outward with the pillar in all directions, and you look over your shoulder to see them engulfing the crowd, burning them brightly like hot iron. One by one the tendrils disappear, leaving ashen effigies where people once stood, many of them disintegrated into grey heaps under the stress of the tremors. You look above to the Adra pillar, and a glowing spherical mass has begun to coalesce atop the column, where the arcs converge. It grows in pulses, translucent and bulbous like some immense chrysalis, suspended in slow rotation as though it were being spun from the arcs of light. When the last arc disappears, the spectral mass hangs a moment, no longer rotating, so bright you must shield your eyes with an outstretched hand, and it seems to you as though it is looking at you. You bow your head in acknowledgement and look back up to see it melt into the pillar like warm candle wax. The pillar flares with a flash of light bright as the sun itself, then fades into darkness. The machine slows down to an abrupt halt, and when the last echo of its grinding cogs is past, the chamber is still. You are alone. From all sides, reality begins to blend. You sense a listlessness to self-soul, an overwhelming fatigue that hinders its immediate escape and makes it vulnerable to manipulation. You feel as though your victory has given you some kind of hold over it, and you are able to do with it as you will. Going to banish him. Deus ex achenon. There can be no forgiveness for your deeds, only justice. You shall escape judgment no longer.
To apply the teachings of Durance would more immediately satisfy the cravings in my bones. But this is the stronger lesson, for his soul is already marked by his own hand.
You regard Theos' soul, still and subdued, and your pronouncement seems to empower your spirit. Your will seems to you now a thick chain, and you wind it around Theos, constructing all movement, eliminating any possible last means of resistance. You call to mind the eternal prison, the vast empty cavern and its cells of Outtro, vacated by souls that chose to betray themselves in order to escape an infinite abyss of hopelessness, self-reflection. You choose a vacant pillar and pour your consciousness into it, creating a perfect, inescapable hollow with space for one. And now you gallop Theos' soul and bear it to the pillar like some bodiless jailer contoured by justice itself. You can feel its resistance now, the abject terror radiating from it, but your bindings will not be broken. When at last it is sealed away and you begin to recede back to your centre, you could almost swear you hear a distant, wordless cry for mercy. And it still is. Yes, it is. Ah, okay. Alright.
Steady does it.